The New Jersey Turnpike, the most modern, most heavily traveled toll highway in the world. Starting just outside New York City at the George Washington Bridge, it picks up traffic from the Lincoln and Holland tunnels under the Hudson River and southwest down across New Jersey through the most heavily traveled industrial region in the nation. A 118-mile express highway that reaches to the new Delaware Memorial Bridge below Philadelphia. A triumph of engineering skill and far-sighted planning. And as other express highways provide non-stop traffic corridors between major cities throughout the country, from Canada to Mexico, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Building the Turnpike was a fabulous undertaking involving astronomical quantities of building supplies and materials, costing hundreds of millions of dollars. The sheer bulk of materials was staggering. More than 4 million square yards of paving alone. And this meant many more millions of cubic yards of gravel and fill. Another type of problem was relocation of industrial and transportation facilities. For instance, a complete railroad yard had to be moved to a new location and rebuilt. Is it any wonder that costs for some of the later improvements and extensions will reach as high as $12.5 million a mile? Why, to clear a way through just one densely populated industrial area took as many as 15 overpasses through as many city blocks. And in one space of 5 there are 263 such turnpike crossings, 194 of them over railroads and highways. Because much of the area had been so thoroughly built up, the only idle spaces were the boggy meadowlands. Waterlogged, they were given up as useless. After careful experimentation, however, turnpike engineers employed a new technique to stabilize the highway's foundation and make a level roadbed. They pumped in as much as 60 feet of fill to take up the settlement caused by drying out the underground water. This technique proved so successful that now industries are moving in and erecting plants in places once believed fit for nothing but mosquitoes. But the true significance of the Turnpike achievement is obvious to anyone who's ever held a driver's license. Because our streets and roads were not designed for today's volume of traffic or for today's faster vehicles, motoring has become a national problem. Jammed highways and streets threaten to strangle many towns and cities, stifle their economies, and impose new strains upon the everyday lives of the public. But rolling down the New Jersey Turnpike is like driving into a new world. A world without stoplights or sharp curves. A world especially created for motoring pleasure, for safety. areas are set far back from the road, leaving ample room for cars to pull completely away from traffic, even at peak periods, and protecting children from the hazards of high-speed traffic on the main lanes. As you see, here's one place with more than enough parking room. Opposing streams of traffic, and wide, stabilized shoulders on the outside are provided for emergency use. There's never any slowing down for left, right, or sharp turns, for there are none, only gentle, long, sweeping curves. Instead of hazardous crossroads, interchanges of the most modern design provide a 118-mile ride with no cross traffic. This is a world where the steepest hills and grades have been smoothed to a gentle roll, where visibility stretches for miles ahead so that you can see where you're going long before you're there. Miles before the next exit, there are ample direction signs to let you know where you are, where to go, and what to do to get there. With the latest safety features engineered into this superhighway, the motorist can sail along at speeds that will save him up to 2 hours traveling time in this 118-mile stretch alone. And he's secure in the knowledge that both he and his car are safe from the wear and tear of fighting traffic. The best proof of how much the privilege of saving time without losing peace of mind means to the public is that ever since the Turnpike was opened, traffic volume and total revenue have exceeded the original estimates 2.5 times over. In the first year, 18 million vehicles went through the toll booths, a volume that no one had expected would be reached for another 15 years. In 1953, toll revenues reached a level originally predicted for 1968. Certainly no severer test could have been created to prove the soundness of the road's facilities. How well they perform is shown by one routine example, keeping a detailed record of the millions of cars, not only for accurate accounting, but for long-term planning. These brass-brain electronic machines automatically sort, count, and tabulate the punched cards every motorist gets upon entering the Turnpike. At the end of each 24-hour period, the machines deliver a complete and accurate record of the mileage traveled, the number of vehicles, and the revenues received from tolls. The authority depends upon this information in planning today for the traffic of tomorrow. How successfully the project has withstood this trial by traffic is a matter of public record. Here, for instance, is how vehicles kept moving along both lanes during one of the biggest holiday rushes in its history, while less than half a mile away, highways were so clogged that motorists were stopped or forced to creep along for miles in low gear. While such scenes indicate the immediate need for expanding the highway, here is proof positive that Turnpike facilities have met, without strain, traffic loads far beyond the most expert predictions. For this achievement, all credit belongs to imaginative planning, which never ends as new needs are anticipated and provided for. From the beginning, convenience and comfort were engineered into the roadway as soundly as security for safety and speed. At the center of the authority's provision for the convenience of motorists is its own detachment of state police. Without so much as a penny of taxpayers' money, these troopers are supported entirely from Turnpike revenues, a sound investment for the protection of the motoring public. Each squad car is equipped with two-way radios for telephone communication with the authority's 5 shortwave radio towers, an arrangement that ensures instantaneous action in meeting any emergency. Like any other highway, Turnpike is constantly at war with the elements. In addition to snow, there is fog. And in an industrial area, smoke adds to the problem. Working with weather research organizations of the armed forces, industry, the government, and universities, the authority carries on an intensive fight to minimize the hazards of fog. In this fight, the most advanced scientific devices and techniques are used. In extreme cases, motorists are escorted through the densest fog area by the state troopers. Carrying the battle to all fronts, the Turnpike Authority is winning its campaign against smog as more and more nearby industries cooperate in controlling and filtering the smoke from factory chimneys. The squad cars not only enforce traffic regulations, but assist motorists in distress. Such help can be a major job in itself when traffic reaches a peak on weekends and holidays.
New Brunswick, 5-8, signal 13.
Go ahead, 5-8.
Signal 13, city service. 86 South, 53 Pontiac, registration, Oboe, Howe, 51 Able, New Jersey, out of gas.
Okay, 5-8, we'll handle.
During the Turnpike's first year of operation, breakdowns requiring assistance totaled more than 34,000 distress calls. If the squad cars were the only means of handling distress calls, the troopers would have little time for their other duties. That's why the radio network is connected with service trucks at every Turnpike service station.
115, New Brunswick.
Go ahead, New Brunswick.
115, New Brunswick, gas call, 86 South. 53 Pontiac, New Jersey registration, Oboe, Howe, 51 Able.
Okay, flat tire, 91 North. Be there in a few minutes.
With anywhere from 600 to 800 cars running out of gas every month, plus the many other calls for instance, these service trucks are rarely idle. In fact, during periods of peak travel, all join the troopers' squad cars in patrolling the entire turnpike, each car or truck being assigned a short section of the highway. This cooperative service is possible because the Turnpike Authority gave careful thought to all the needs of all motorists. A road that is used by more than 20 million drivers a year raises far more than engineering problems. Careful provision must be made for service of the vehicles, and for the people in them. The authority planners painstakingly studied motorist needs and how those needs have been met on other roads across the nation. They knew that restaurant and service stations would have to be planned and built with great care to be sure they would provide maximum service and comfort for the motoring public. At the outset, the authority determined that all service stations and restaurants would be built and permanently owned by the Turnpike, so that final control of their operations would remain with the authority. To meet every motoring need, they specified many details of operations. For example, service stations provide both regular and premium grades of gasoline, since premium is essential for modern high-compression engines. For trucks and buses, diesel fuel is supplied. All products must be sold at prices competitive with normal prices charged by other companies and service stations in the Turnpike area. Similarly, it was decided that stations and restaurants would be continuously operated 24 hours a day, every day of the year. Finally, the authority carefully appraised every system of operation to decide how motorists would receive the best service and the Turnpike obtain the most revenues to make the entire project self-sustaining and self-liquidating. Their final decision was to call for competitive bids for private operation of all service station facilities under one contract and all restaurants under another. With each of these facilities operated under single responsibility for the entire length of the Turnpike, adequate, uniform, good service under centralized control is assured. Because the contracts are for limited periods only, the principle of free, competitive enterprise is protected and preserved. It's interesting to note that the needs of the public in a limited access turnpike call for many more specialized supplies and services than those in stations along the average highway. Not only are facilities available for greasing and tire servicing, but they must meet the needs of time-conscious motorists on an express highway. An oil change, for example, is made with equipment that completes the job in a quick 3 minutes. But these supplies and services must be available not only at service stations, but along the turnpike, whenever and wherever needed. A feature that has received much public praise is the fleet of radio dispatch service station trucks. They are equipped to take care of every motoring trouble, except major mechanical breakdowns that have to be towed to a garage. The standard equipment of these trucks includes practically everything needed for emergency service to vehicles on the turnpike. Only men qualified for such responsibilities are recruited and hired. These turnpike stations need a total complement of 200 permanent and 100 part-time attendants. Every man trained and ready for traffic loads that at times require as many as 14 men at 14 pumps in a single station, pumping at the rate of 1,000 gallons of gasoline an hour for 12 consecutive hours. No service station anywhere has ever been subjected to a more severe trial by traffic. To meet such a record demand without strain and without inconvenience to the public, all stations are always able to draw upon manpower from less busy stations up and down the turnpike. Such cooperation is possible because all the stations are operated by a single company. Another special turnpike service is provided by these pikettes, latest information on hotels, motor courts, and the best routes to all parts of the country.
Here you are, Mr. Wallace. Here are all the maps you need to get to Florida. Here's your motel guide and your ferry boat schedule. And as you can see here, you have your choice of either route, the inland route or the ocean route.
Well, thanks very much.
You're very welcome, and I hope you have a very nice trip.
Thanks again.
What turnpike travel means in terms of pleasurable driving is perhaps best indicated by a simple little incident that occurred toward the end of a holiday weekend.
Your oil is safe, sir, but your fan belt's worn. Only take a few minutes to change it.
Never mind. We're in a hurry to get home and put the youngster to bed.
Yes, sir. But you know, high-speed driving puts an extra strain on fan belts.
Well, I'll risk it. That fan belt lasted this long. It'll be good enough to get me home. Well, it's the fan belt, all right. Well, I'll have to try and thumb a ride to the nearest station. Must be about 15 miles from here.
That's not what they tell you to do here. It says just pull over off the road and wait for a patrol car to come along.
Yeah, but we'll be here all night. I'll be better off trying to get a lift.
Oh, I don't think so. You know yourself, we never stop for anybody. It's too dangerous. And besides, way out here, how do you know you were going to hold him up or not? I think we better just wait. After all, that's what they tell us to do.
Well, okay. We'll give them about 10 minutes.
Good.
Can I help you, sir? Yeah, my fan belt's broke. Can you get me one from a station or push me there?
Better than that. We carry a whole line in the truck. This won't take long, sir.
Fine.
New Brunswick, 115.
115, New Brunswick.
115, I'm replacing fan belt on a 1953 Plymouth. Milepost 63 south.
Okay. When you're finished, a 1953 Nash, milepost 72 north, has flat tire.
Okay, we'll handle.
Such safety patrols extend the entire length of the 118-mile roadway, a vital service with its dependability ensured because it is the undivided responsibility of the single operator of all turnpike service stations. Planned to meet every need of modern motoring, the New Jersey Turnpike can face any new trials by traffic with confidence that it has paved the way to a new age in road building. The streets and highways that have grown haphazardly out of horse and buggy travel are now the biggest obstacles to motoring progress. With our people becoming a nation on wheels, our hopes for better living depend upon better roads. The pressing need today is to extend the turnpike from the state of New Jersey throughout the country in a national network of superhighways built for speed and comfort. The future of America depends on better transportation.